What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in. It is the Thursday episode of the Crawford Chronicles. I am one of your hosts, PK, and we always have Homer Chris, and he's back to Sweet Beat Bones Bryles because he's a loser like us. Welcome to the club again, Bryles, fellas. How y'all doing?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like going back and kind of looking over the first couple of games of the Washington series, man, I feel like this week was like 3 weeks long. I'm like, holy moly! But outside of another awesome series that the Astros should have won but didn't, um, I mean that's really about it. Gearing up to the weekend. I mean, Browse, how's your week going?
Good, man. You pretty much said it. It was a weak series that we should have been able to pull out. Unfortunately, we didn't. I know we're going to get into that here in just a little bit. However, outside of that, we've got the All-Star game coming up next week. I always get super amped up for that. We've got some pretty good participants in the Futures game on Sunday. And then you've got the Home Run Derby on Monday and then the All-Star game on Tuesday. I always look forward to that. It's always been a lot of fun. Try to get that on the TV with the whole family watching. So anyway, looking forward to that. PK, how has your week been, sir?
Good. It's been good, Chris. It felt the same way. Like today, even though it's Thursday and we got one more day in the week, like it felt like a Tuesday today. I mean, this week is just drug on. Maybe it's because I'm in like semi-vacation mode because I'm off all next week. I'm going to the lake, so maybe that's the reason. But yeah, man, watching these Astros, it's not even. I mean, it is the Astros as a whole, but really, it's the pitching staff, the starting pitching staff. Like that is what. I mean, that's the problem. That was the problem in this series, right? You had Burrows, Imai, and Arrighetti, right? We talked about it on Sunday. We were hoping for Arrighetti to bounce back, be somewhat what he was, prior to the last 5 starts. We were hoping that Imai, was continue to trend in his right direction. And then you really didn't know what you were getting from Burrows because he had just spent a small stint in the bullpen. And well, let me tell you, man, he did so good on Monday that he now pitches in Sugarland down the street from us. Not really, but kind of. And then Imai lasted like 3 2/3 of an inning. Arrighetti walked 6, and that's just the beginning, right? We're going to get into all that stuff, but you had like kind of a slugfest on Monday. I mean, the final score was 11 to 12, right? But Abrams went yard. James Wood, he had a huge series. CJ Abrams had a huge series too. And Meade, that kid, he hit a bomb off of Burrows in the 5th. But Altuve went yard on Monday. Mathis went yard on Monday. Burrows' final line was 4 1/3, 9 hits, 10 runs, 7 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and a couple of bombs. It just offense was there, but dude, when your starting pitching can't hold down the other team, it ends up being a slow pitch softball game.
Yeah, I mean, like that Monday game with Burrows pitching, that one was extremely tough to watch because like you got up early, you got up 6-1, and then Burrows becomes Burrows, and they tie the game 6-6. And honestly, like, and I don't want to Monday morning quarterback it, but at that point right there with the game tied, I mean, at that point you should have saw that Burrows, he didn't have it. And I understand, like, it'd be one thing if like the game was 10-1. You're like, well, Burrows, you're going to eat at least another couple innings to save the bullpen. But the game's 6-6. I don't know. I don't understand any reason why Burrows went back out to continue to pitch 2 more innings, enough to give up another. I think he was tagged for 10 earned runs or maybe 8 earned runs, but 2 of them are unearned. I mean, I just don't get a spot us sometimes. I mean, like, the game's tied. Burrows clearly doesn't have it. Go to your friggin' bullpen. Like that's go to your bullpen, because even if blue ball comes in that spot, gives up 2 runs, you still come back and that's a game that you win. You end up winning the series. But again, it's just like it's the mismanagement. And before we get into the rest of this series, I'm going to say a lot of people on X are bitching and complaining that our biggest loss was Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez was not our biggest loss. Our biggest loss was assistant pitching coach Bill Murphy, who went to the Pittsburgh Pirates. because since he's been gone, I believe the Pirates are top 5 in the NL in ERA, and I'll double check that. But the Astros have been bottom 3, bottom 4 since this season. So this goes to tell me that it was really Murphy pulling the strings, and the guy that we just happened to see on TV was whoever the pitching coach is. I can't remember his name.
Josh Miller.
Josh Miller. There you go. So there's my quick little piece on the biggest loss of the offseason. But yeah, I mean, like you had Matthews after I was talking shit about him on X. He hits a 3-run home run. And, for a second, I was like, all right, Matthews. But you know what? I'm still going to talk shit about Matthews because Matthews went off, hit 400 this series, and he's still hitting under 200. So fantastic. Get another 17 more hits, and you can break the Mendoza line. That game was so frustrating to watch, and it basically set the tone, starting pitching wise, for the rest of this garbage ass series. Browse, I'll tag you're in.
All right. So I even talked about this on Sunday. One of my fears when we were talking about our predictions was I said on that first game with Burrows being the starting pitcher, is Espada just going to let him hang out there to dry? And that is exactly what he did. Let him give up 10 runs and not to correct you, but it was 7 earned. Either way, it doesn't matter. He still gave up a touchdown in earned runs. In 10 overall. So he should not have been trotted back out there. They had this game on paper exactly how their pitchers were going to go no matter what the situation is. Chris knows this. We don't even do that in Little League. We may have a game plan, but guess what? If it doesn't go to plan, you pivot so you try to win the game. How many times do we have to talk about this? Every game from here on out is a must-win game. You are playing from behind in the division. You're playing from behind in the wild card. And if you don't correct this, you are not going to get to the playoffs this year. We do have the talent to make it happen, but if we have stupid Espada making stupid moves like this over and over again, where he's just going to stick by his game plan no matter what, with our guys fighting for their lives, we lost by 1 run in a 12-11 game. For one reason, because Espada would not take Burrows out, left him out there just to get absolutely destroyed, and then that was it from there. So, hey, look, props to Altuve and a couple of these other guys got some hits. I know Jordan struggled this game. He had 1 hit. He went 1 for 5, no RBIs, no home runs, no nothing. But the bottom half of your lineup looked fantastic at the plate. These guys were fighting to win this game, and Espada let every single one of them down.
Yeah, Shoemake came back and he had a great game. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. Matthews, like Chris said, had a fantastic game, and then Yiner, 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 ribs. That was your offense, except for Walker. I mean, he had 2 hits. Cam Smith had 2 hits too. So, look, I think on the Burrows thing, you run him back out there and it's 6-1. I mean, good God, man! Like hold down half an inning. But how many times this season have we seen this pitching staff get a lead in the top half of the inning? It doesn't matter. Top half of the inning when we're away, or bottom half, when we're at home, and the next half inning, they go out there and they give up the lead instantly. I mean, it's happened over and over and over. It's like, hold the freaking lead, man. I mean, you come out and you punch him in the mouth. Altuve turns back the clock, right? Goes yard. You had Mikolas kind of on the ropes. We talked about how Mikolas was 2-7, 2-8, I think, coming into this game. I mean, he's clearly been struggling. You've got the firepower on your offense to kind of put this game away, and instead you're in a battle going back and forth to where you couldn't get Abrams out this series and you couldn't get James Wood out this series. And Luis freaking Garcia Jr., you couldn't get that guy out either. Like all series. So you make Mikolas look fairly good. I mean, he goes 6 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs. He gives it 2 Ks, 2 home runs with 3 Ks. It's just Burrows deserves to be down in Sugarland, right? I mean, not from just this outing. I mean, this outing was like the icing on the cake. Had to have been for the organization. He's been struggling all year. He's not the pitcher that I'm sure Crane and Brown thought that we were getting when we brought him over from Pittsburgh, where he gave up Jacob Melton as part of that 3-team trade. He's had flashes in the pan, so I don't want to piss on his parade too much because he had flashes, but not consistent enough to be in a starter in major league rotation, and not in a spot right now where you're fighting for every damn win in a weak division where you're going to need all these wins come end of August, September, right? Where you're fighting for a damn spot in the playoffs if you want to make it. So go to Burroughs, go to Sugarland, and burrow yourself down to Sugarland. How about that? Let's go on to Tuesday. Tuesday's game, you tried to lose also, honestly. You tried to lose in the ninth inning. I mean, I think Santa was in the ninth. Man, this thing's messing up. I think Santa was in the ninth, and I believe there was a ball hit to short. Shoemake threw it behind Nick Allen to put the runner on third base. And then I think they brought Hader in. On that game. But that was a game that you didn't want Hader to pitch based off of blue ball going, blue ball. This thing is all crapping out my screen. Based on the relievers that you went on the night before. So, but you do get the dub. Not a lot of offense here. You only had 6 hits. I can't scroll down to see all the pitching stats, so y'all can do it for me. But you even the series on Tuesday, 6-3, and there you go. Jordan struggled again. That's 1 for 10 in two games.
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to watch a lot of this game. I'm trying to remember what we had going on Tuesday, but I just remember looking at the line score and seeing. I think we talked about it offline before we went live. Imai had a pretty short out and apparently cut himself, and then whatever. I mean, but I think even the numbers that he had weren't very good. But I guess I'm not a pitcher, so I guess if you have a cut on your hand, that kind of affects how you grip the ball and whatever. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't watch a lot of this game, if not really any. But the one thing I did see a lot of people complaining about was bringing Hader in for that third of an inning. And you know what? Hey, I mean, like you can. I will say this, man. Like at this point, Espada did what he felt he had to do to get the win. He got the win, and like at this point, and a lot of it is self-inflicted. But Espada is going to be in a "you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't" situation, because if he leaves Santa in there and Santa gives up the lead, then everybody's going to be complaining about how we should have went to Hader. So you know what? I'm okay with the fact he went to Hader for a hitter. He got the out, got the win. And because if not, then everyone's crying about getting swept by the Nationals.
Yeah, so just real quick, that was Imai. He had 3.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts, and gave up 1 home run. And just like Chris was saying, yeah, he did. He had like a cut on his hand or a blister or something. Anyway, it was bleeding. He kept rubbing it on his pants, and then they let him pitch still. So he was trying to fight through it. So I'll give him props for that. But after that, you pretty much had your entire bullpen going. You had Okert for 1.1, De Los Santos for 1, Brian King for 1, Mr. Should be working at Vape City, Brian Abreu for 1, Santa for 0.2, and then, like you said, Hader for 0.1. He went out there to get the last out. So the one thing I am kind of curious about this, because clearly Espada had no intentions of winning the game on Monday. So if he comes out here Tuesday and he does put Hader in to make sure that we have that lead after Santa gave up the home run and we win 6-3, do you think that Espada is starting to kind of feel a little bit of heat under that seat and thinking he's like, I better win this game if I've got an opportunity or I'm going to get screwed? Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think that, listen, he doesn't have a contract for next year with the Astros. So if he doesn't think that seat is hot, he is 100% wrong. He'll be lucky to keep his job for the rest of the season the way that this is progressing. And I know we're about to talk about yesterday's game, but he did preserve it. He did go to Hader. I don't have a problem with that. It was for 1 out. I would have done that anyway. He should have actually game planned a little bit better for the Monday game than he did for this one. So anyway, that's all I've got for that.
So I heard something on the radio today, and it was actually pretty funny. It was they said that Espada managed the Tuesday game like it was Game 7 of the World Series.
He absolutely did.
It's funny because it's true, but I think you're 100% right, Bros. I mean, the dude maybe doesn't feel the proverbial hot seat, But I think he knows that like every win is important, and he can't go and lose this. Well, I mean, you end up losing the series, but you can't lose the series on Tuesday, right? Like that win, you have to pick that win up. I don't care if Hader faced, one batter. His job is to close the game out and secure the win. That's what he did. The manager did, in my opinion, finally did his job in that situation there. Get the win, and then you go into Wednesday's game with a guy that we talked about sort of blue in the face, who was nails for 9 starts and now has regressed back to the mean. And you hope that you can pick up this series win, on Wednesday, and then you head to South Oklahoma. So yeah, I have no problem with the way he used Hader in that situation. The idea was to go with Santa and let him close it out, but Baraz, you hit on the head, man. Every win is so important, and you've got to take these wins as you get them, and I mean, adjust your game plan on the damn fly. Doesn't matter, right? Like Bryles, Hader, go pitch for one batter, then maybe you're off on. I mean, he was off on Wednesday, so didn't need you on Wednesday, so it doesn't matter. Now he's off on Thursday, and we go into Friday. So let's go. Let's go to yesterday. It was ugly, to say the least. Ugly. Eric Getty, man, dude, poor guy. I mean, 4 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs, 6 walks, 2 Ks, 2 home runs. Your bullpen comes in and doesn't give up any more runs. Santa, Pearson, Javier. But Foster Griffin he owned you. He just owned you. I mean, that's what it boiled down to. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 9 Ks. Like, that was an owning.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clearly safe to say that the shine, the magic, the mojo with Arrighetti is officially dead. Arrighetti is going to be Arrighetti. I mean, again, like we kind of said last episode, I mean, thanks for kind of, holding down the line until we got Hunter Brown back. I mean, but like, he just has not looked good in his last like 8 to 9 starts now. And I think he's at the point right now where when we see that he's started, this is no longer an automatic win like it used to be, which sucks. But yeah, man, your offense got manhandled yesterday. I mean, I think your bottom of the lineup still probably hit pretty well. So I mean, on a plus note, the bottom of the lineup kind of took care of business this series. But it's a frustrating, because I feel like you could have went out there and won that first game that Burrows pitched. And it's basically kind of like we said. I mean, we said last episode, this is a freaking trap series, because you're coming off the high of just beating the Rays, walking them off on July 4th. And then you go to a team that, yes, they've scored the most runs in baseball. And we threw 3 starting pitchers that couldn't go any more than 4 innings between all 3 of them. And they showed why they had the best, the most amount of runs scored in the majors. They did not face good starting pitching, and they punished the Astros for, throwing, dog shit pitching out there.
Cement mixers over the middle of the plate.
It's just frustrating, because it goes back to all this trade talk. I mean, like that. Okay, so great. You know what? I won't jump ahead. Brawls, go ahead.
So Arrighetti, 3 games ago, had a ERA in the mid ones, and after his last 3 starts, his ERA now is 4.5. And after this last start, I'm starting to think that he's got some sort of injury that either he's not telling the Astros about, something's going on, or he's just completely lost his arm slot or something like that. But to your point, PK, and Chris, both you guys talking about it, it's like the pitching coaches are I don't know what happened. It's like, how can they not figure this out? You don't expect Arrighetti to go out there for 4 innings, give up 7 hits, 8 runs, all 8 of them earned, walk 6, and give up 2 home runs. That is a terrible stat line. That's the stat line you expect to see from Burrows, who just got sent down, not from Arrighetti. So there is something going on with him. I don't know what it is, but I really hope that they can get this figured out, because the All-Star break cannot come fast enough for Spencer Arrighetti. He needs to get at least a week back in the lab, get something figured out, or just rest, just so he can kind of get back into form so we can count on him in the rotation after the All-Star break. And we had a couple guys in the bullpen obviously come in and pitch. They didn't give up any runs. Chris, to your point, the bottom half of the lineup again did come through for us. That was the only part of the lineup that actually was getting hits. It was just an all-around bad game. And I will tell you, Arrighetti did execute the first 2 innings of his game probably the way that he wanted. But at the same time, he did look a little bit shaky. He didn't give up any runs for inning 1 or inning 2. And then after that, it was 2 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs. It was ugly. So anyway, there's nothing I can say other than the fact for Spencer Arrighetti and for the majority of our starting pitching staff, this next series and then the All-Star break cannot get over fast enough.
Yeah, I think with this series up in Washington or out in Washington, and now you're back in Texas for the Rangers, and I try not to play, off the emotions of a previous series on how I expect the rest of the season to go. I try not to. I'm not saying that I do, but with the way this season is, I think it's getting closer to being an unrealistic expectation that this team can actually make a run in the postseason, because your starting pitching is too inconsistent. You don't have a legitimate ace. I mean, you really don't. I mean, Hunter Brown's your ace, but he hasn't shown anything in the last couple of starts that is like, hell yeah, Diesel's back, right? I mean, let's be honest. Peter Lambert is a number 5 guy as your number 2 guy, right? Now he's pitched really well for Peter Lambert, right? I mean, he's been fairly clutch, for him. Arrighetti's supposed to be your 3 guy. He can't, we saw what happened yesterday. Imai, he's either striking out 10 or he can't get out of the first, second, or third inning, right? And then Burrows is obviously sent down. So your bullpen is, for the most part, pretty freaking nails. Like, it's one of the better ones in the league. Your offense is one of the better offenses. They're not as consistent as we would like them to be, but they're still pretty freaking potent. Your pitching is your problem. And we all know that, right? But it just feels like the inconsistency with this team. I feel like they're going to make a run enough to be a small seller or a small buyer at the market. And I think ultimately, man, like, if your pitching doesn't shake out, I mean, you're ultimately not going to make the postseason, right? I think it's kind of unfortunate because we're not too far away from the lead in the West, but Seattle's got to, they're playing Miami right now. I think they're playing Miami right now. They got walked off a couple nights ago. I mean, Miami's a good team. I mean, the West is still open. You have to put together. I mean, obviously, we have to put together a run to get to that division crown. But dude, your starting pitching is so bad. Like, it's so bad and it's so inconsistent. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't think going out and making a big move or making a mid-level move is kind of. I don't think that's the fix. So, if you guys got something on that, let's do that, and let's get into Oklahoma Rangers.
I mean, I think regardless of what happens, the Astros, the best they can be is small buyers. I mean, because I had this conversation with a buddy of mine, and I was like, because he asked, he's like, well, could they possibly get Skubal? And I'm like, yeah, but they could absolutely get Skubal, but they're gonna basically set, cost themselves probably the next 3 to 4 seasons, because even if the Astros blow everybody else away, and they do Nayans and they do Kevin Alvarez and 4 or 5 other prospects, one, there's no guarantee you're going to make the playoffs, because outside of Skubal, Brown, and God forbid if Lambert falls off, you've got nothing behind that. You've got a combination of Arrighetti, who's been dog shit. Burrows just got sent down. And like you said, Imai is either 10 strikeouts or he can't get past the third inning. So you have a massive drop-off, and you're hoping that Lambert can, maintain the course for the rest of the season. But, again, Skubal's going to walk at the end of this season, become a free agent, and now you just set your franchise back because you've got rid of your best prospects that are already 2 to 3 to 4 years away. Now you're in a position where you have no reinforcements coming up. Now you're having the conversation of, okay, well, now we need to deal Jeremy Pena because he's not going to resign. I mean, so like, I think they'll hang in the race long enough for them to be small buyers. I mean, but like, I just don't see with the money that they have and the prospects they have. I mean, this team is not going to turn around and be a World Series contender shopping at the Dollar Tree. That's all I'm going to say. Like,
Hey, look,
I don't see it.
They could, man. See 2019, the goddamn Nationals, right? No, but they had pitching. They had Strasburg and
they also had
Corbin,
Juan Soto and
young Juan Soto. I mean, like
a good.
How old is Juan Soto?
Oh yeah, he's
who knows, 40 maybe.
And they had who did they have at third base? I'm trying to remember his name. Back when he liked to play baseball.
Zimmerman.
No. The guy who signed with the Angels.
God damn it. He's from Bel Air.
Yeah, why couldn't I think of it?
I can see his face. Anthony Rendon.
Rendon, yeah.
There you go.
You had Rendon. I mean, you still had Strasburg. You still had Scherzer.
Corbin.
So they had
Corbin.
they had Corbin. Yeah, I mean, so they had. I mean, like you're talking about a different. I mean, you could even say the 21 Braves, who basically rebuilt their outfield in the trade deadline. But again, they had the
Nationals were shit that whole season. They made a run in the postseason. Went to LA and beat LA.
Yeah, but they had pitching though. They had legit pitching.
They had real pitching.
This team does not have legit pitching.
Well, the problem, I mean, think about it. We counted on Myers being a good outfielder. Like we were counting, they were trying to shop him the whole time. And from what I'm to understand, Dana Brown had like a Philadelphia deal for him to get shipped off. And he said, that's not enough. I don't even know the details of it, but that's what's been emerging over the last couple of weeks, especially all the rumors coming up again now that he got sent down to AAA. But anyway, long story short, they were hoping that Myers was going to be able to repeat, get a high average, not be injured, play good defense, and none of that has happened since he's got sent down to AAA again. So now you've got 2 outfield spots to fill, and in my opinion, I mean,
I'd say 3. I'd say you have all 3 of them because it's not like Cam Smith's been holding it down.
Well, he's not exactly lighting it up, but from his defensive standpoint, I'll absolutely take it compared to anybody else they've had out there. And then on top of that, you've got to pretty much rebuild your entire rotation that's either been hurt, that you can't count on, that's going to be coming back up from, rehabs in AAA, or the guys that you were counting on, like we've talked about, Brown and Arrighetti, they have not performed. I mean, Brown's ERA now is over 3. Nobody expected that. I mean, I did say that it was going to take a little while for him to get back into form, and we weren't going to see a midseason form out of him till August. But, dude, you got to do better than that. I mean, you've got to at least come in there and give some confidence to the rest of your team when you're on the mound, and he just has not shown that. So if you're talking about trade deadline, we need 3 starting pitchers, and we need a minimum 2 outfielders. And we're not talking about a Trammell level, a Mont Wade level, even
they can release
as much as I love the guy, a Loper Fido level, it's like we need somebody that we can count on to actually go out there, give us decent hitting and decent defense that you can slot into that lineup every single day. Chris, you and I were talking about this the other day. It's like, do you remember the 21 and 22 lineup for the Astros? The trade deadline, what did you need? Not a whole lot. And that's why we went to the World Series. Now it's like, in order for us to go to the World Series, you got to plug a whole lot of holes that you've still got problems with. And I think Dana Brown did not address those in the offseason, which is a big problem. We don't know if he was handcuffed from a financial standpoint. We don't even know if he's handcuffed from a financial standpoint here. Either way, you better get something done because guess what? Just like I was talking about Espada, Dana Brown, you don't have a contract next year either. So you better make it happen.
So you're trying to tell me that the return of Lance McCullers Jr. is not going to save your rotation?
No, absolutely not.
But here's the thing that and listening to your piece right there, you make it. Not you, but you're telling me that this organization sat there over the winter and said, Jake Myers, you're going to have another 290 average season. And
no, that's not what they said.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is they're hoping that he's going to they're hoping that he's going to, well, I can't think of the word, back up the season that he had. The season before. Replicate, yes. So that he has the high trade value, right?
Yeah.
But the dude's he's like a sub 250 hitter career.
The problem is that they shopped and they oversold Jake Myers.
Well, of course,
because the initial reports was they wanted a young, controllable starting pitcher and another piece for Jake Myers, and a lot of the teams said, "Ha ha ha, cool story." And then that's the problem. They oversold. They try to oversell Jake Myers. They probably did the same thing with Chas McCormick a couple of years ago. Now they're stuck with Chas McCormick 2.0 because Jake Myers, for as great of a season, we know he's injury prone. We know he's a defensive first outfielder. You're trading him and you're getting a decent piece, whether it's a decent minor leaguer that's in AA or AAA, or maybe a decent major league piece. But the problem is that they try to oversell him and none of the teams bit. And then they were like, okay, oh yeah, man, we think Jake Myers can replicate what he did last year. Yeah, because you couldn't trade him because you treated him like he was freaking Mike Trout from 10 years ago. Go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's like it wasn't the fact that they were counting on him doing the exact same thing again. It's they overplayed their hand, and then when they overplayed their hand and got stuck with him, they were just hoping that he was going to be out there, and they were counting on him giving us at least probably a 275 average or something like that. And he reverted right back to the Jake Myers that he had, or that he was before he had that really bad shoulder injury. That's what he is. He is. Okay. That's fair. That is who
like
he
a
is.
Noodle arm. Yeah. You can run down the fly balls and you save some runs. You do, but you got a noodle arm. Once the dude tagged up from second on a short fly ball in center field and it beats you to third base on your throw, it's over. It's over, man. Like, it sucks because your shoulder, that injury in Chicago what was it? It was in the playoffs, wasn't it? Yeah. You hurt his shoulder against the White Sox.
Ran into the wall.
Yeah. That derailed whatever better career he may have had. So, all right, man, enough about Jake Myers and all that. Let's get into this weekend. Browse. Who's pitching this weekend?
Yes. Sorry, I was looking at my autographed Jake Myers baseball, unfortunatally. And just going
trash.
Yeah.
That's now.
I'll be playing toss with Colt.
And the Mariners just got swept.
Fantastic.
There you go.
Well, good thing. All right. So we're going into, as we've talked about already, into Dallas to play in the Texas largest Home Depot corrugated building. I'm going to make this very easy. The Rangers have TBD lined up for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before we go into the All-Star break. For us, we've got Friday, Hunter Brown, who we've already discussed, 1-0 with a 3.38 ERA. Then you've got the Savior, Peter Lambert, 7-5 with a 3.26. And then Sunday, we've got a TBD as well. We don't know who that's going to be. We've got a couple ideas. Gentlemen, this one's going to be very hard to predict, but I will. You know what? I'll go first since you asked me to last time.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Good. So how about this? They've got 3 TBD pitchers. We only know one of them it's not going to be, for what I'm to understand, right?
Yes, Evaldi. He pitched tonight.
Yeah, he's pitched. Yeah.
Okay, so Evaldi pitched tonight. That's the only one we know it's not going to be. Other than that, DeGrom's a strong pitcher for them. They don't really have that much behind those 2 pitchers that really scares me. We play the Rangers very well. Brown obviously has been struggling. Lambert's looked good, and then we have no idea what's coming out on Sunday. This is a complete crapshoot. I don't care which way you go. The only reason I'm going to say that we're going to go 2-1 on this is because we typically play the Rangers very well. Rangers come out here with a giant attitude, thinking that they're going to absolutely murder us, and our boys always step up. So I'm going to actually take the Astros 2-1 on this, not even knowing who's going to pitch on Sunday and hoping it's not Lance McCullers.
Dude, I have no idea. Like, I really have no idea because
I'm 50-50 on Hunter Brown because I don't know which Hunter Brown we're going to see. I have faith in Peter Lambert, But I mean, and then you have Sunday's game, which is a getaway game into a long break. So is Espada going to play that game to win, or are we going to get the Goon Squad?
Oh, it's going to be Goon Squad.
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna roll the dice too and go 2 on Astros.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
That's all I got. I mean, TBD pitches pretty well, but then he also doesn't pitch well. So I'm gonna go 2 on Astros.
Man, dude, I sound like I feel like I'm a hater, but I'm taking the Rangers. I just don't. I can't. It's just hard to be like on this team. You play the Rays, you beat the Rays in the over 4th of July weekend. I understand you're up for that team, right? Because it's AL East leading. It's a gauntlet out in the AL East, and then you go piss, man. You go pee down your leg out in Washington. So I know this is going to be for the. I think if the Astros win this series, I think they retain the boot. I believe is what I read.
No one cares about this damn boot.
I know. Man, I'm just telling you what I read. Don't kill the messenger, man. So there's that. And it's the Rangers, man. Like I freaking had them. You know what, man? F them Rangers. I'm going 2-1 Astros. F the Rangers.
You should go sweep.
Fuck it. I'll go sweep. I'll take a sweep.
There you go. I like it.
What's one more loss on the prediction board?
That prediction board is ugly. I mean, but however, if you compare the prediction board of this year to where it was at last year, we had at least one of us that was probably 5-6 games over 500 representing. The other one was like hovering around 1 or 2.
Yeah,
dude. Like I don't even did I even upload it? No, because that's how hot garbage it is. Did I? No, I didn't even upload it. Actually, yes, I did. Look at this hot garbage, dude. The first place team is tied 7 games under 500.
Well, I blame the Astros. I blame the damn Astros.
But that's my point. That's because of how up and down this team. The only thing consistent about this team this season is how up and down they've been. I mean, so it's like you think you have momentum on paper. It looks like, okay, we can get on it. We can start another run. And then, like you said, they pee down their leg and, they lose the Washington series. I mean, I do think they probably will come up for the Rangers, but I mean, they could also get swept by the Rangers. I mean, right now it's tough to do these predictions with this Astros. We don't know which version of Hunter Brown we're going to get. Lambert's been pretty consistent all season, and then I think we all know who's coming on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. But the hardest part too is you have no idea what Espada is going to end up doing. Is he going to leave somebody out there to dry, or like hang out there to dry just because that's what's on his clipboard? Or is he actually going to try to win a game? So,
well, I can say this:
for winning the damn game is what he should be doing.
I'm about done with Lamonte Wade. They can go ahead and give him his release papers. I mean, he had a really awesome 2 games, and then he got hurt, unfortunately. But I don't think he's done a damn thing since he's been back. So you can go ahead and release him.
That lefty kid from the White Sox that we got.
Oh, Harris? Yeah, they released him already.
Dustin?
Yeah, Dustin Harris. They released him.
I thought they sent him down. So
they might have. I know he's not at Sugarland, so maybe he got sent all the way down to Corpus.
Oh, that sucks. Anyways.
All right.
All right, end on that note. That sucks for that kid. All right, man. So no Astros today, so it means you don't have to wallow in a loss or celebrate in a win. But it all starts back up tomorrow, man. South Oklahoma, F the Rangers. Let's go up there and take care of business. I want the sweep so I can get a prediction win. That would be cool. But overall, just want the series win, man, or the series win. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Man, thank y'all for listening. As always, I'm PK, Homer Chris, Sleepy Bones Browse. This is the Crawford Chronicles.
Hook 'em,
dude.
All right.
All Texas sports are signing dogs, man. See the basketball dude, the number 1 guy for 2027 signed?
Yes, sir. I did see that.
Marcus Spears' son, or junior, I think it is.